Good morning, Wrestling Inc. Welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily. It is me, your managing editor of WrestlingInc.com, joined here as I am every Friday to wrap the week up, to talk the pro wrestling news of the past 24 hours. It's our good friend, Christy Olson. Christy, welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily.
Hey, Nick, and happy Friday to you. Thank you so much.
I am so excited. It is going to be beautiful here in Chicago this weekend. I got my dog. I have my air conditioning units back in. I'm feeling good, Christy. I'm excited.
So it's not going to be a hot Nick summer. Cool Nick summer.
Take it down a notch here. There we go.
Whoa. For our podcast listeners, he's opening the buttons.
I do. I have the top button down, man. I am in a great mood here this Friday. We are going to have a lot of fun here today. We are live, obviously, over on YouTube and all of the other wrestling and social media channels. As Christy alluded to there, if you're just listening to us in podcast form, find us on all major podcast platforms. We do have an interview we attach with the Daily every day. On the podcast, we put it right after the news. And we're going to do something new here today, Christy. Ooh. So today I'm debuting my latest conversation with Jimmy Korderas, friend of the show, 20-year veteran of the WWE, referee. There's this option to do a premiere on YouTube, which means...
yes.
Yeah, you've heard of the premieres. You know this?
This has been a thing for a while, Nick. Yeah.
Man, okay, great. I just found out about this, and I think this is really cool. So what we're going to do is at 1 o'clock Eastern, so this is at noon Eastern, right? At 1 o'clock Eastern, we're going to premiere the conversation between me and Jimmy. So you could go over to YouTube right after the show is over here or shortly after. I'll be editing the show together for the audio listeners, but I'll jump in the chat room, and you guys can watch the interview with Jimmy all together. I'll be in the chat room. I'll talk to you as we're doing this. You're welcome in the chat. Everybody's welcome in the chat room, Christy. So.
Yay, I love that, Nick. This was our first week doing this live with the live chat last week, and it was so much fun. So that's awesome. And I know Jimmy always has some really thoughtful stuff to say, kind of like thought-provoking things, right? So I think there'll be a lot of conversation started from that one. So that's so cool. Yay, have fun.
Yeah, we really cover the gamut from like Backlash all the way back to Andre the Giant. I mean, it is it's a lot of ground we cover. So absolutely. Yeah. Join us over on YouTube. And we're going to do this with all the interviews now. So the Daily will be at noon Eastern, and then we'll debut the interviews at 1 Eastern over on YouTube. And that's the new flow of things. We're growing, we're building, we're trying things, Christy, you know?
Yeah. Basically, we're not going to let you work during the day, weekdays ever.
No, not at all. And then I'm going to come up with a 2 p.m. Eastern program. And then pretty soon, 24 hours, 7 days a week, News Network. Absolutely. I'll be here.
Just like RFD.
I'll be your, oh my God, man. Don't get me started on RFD. I have RFD to watch this afternoon. I'm very, very excited.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. I'm getting way too pumped. Jimmy will be here. We're going to dive at the end of the show for everybody. We'll dive in the mailbag. We're going to look at who you think is the best secondary champion in WWE at the moment. So not the top champions of the brands. But lastly, before we get to the news of the day, I sincerely want to send our best out to Noelle Foley, who revealed on Twitter she's been diagnosed with this rare hearing disorder called hyperacusis. A person diagnosed with this has a low tolerance to many everyday sounds, which are perceived by the person to be uncomfortably loud and sometimes physically painful. Noelle, I am good friends with her and Frank both. Frank is in my backyard of Chicago. She is always just such a wonderful person, and I am so sad to hear this. She does not, nobody deserves this, but not especially Noelle. So.
No, and it's not just you, Nick. Everyone speaks very highly of her. I've never had the opportunity to meet her, but I really enjoy her kind of candor and authenticity online. And it sounds like what she's dealing with is just really horrific. And it's been years now that she's been dealing with these symptoms. So we sure wish her the best. And, I hope she catches the attention of some kind of a revolutionary doctor who can maybe help her out a little bit.
Yeah, well, hopefully, Mick is, if anybody knows doctors, it's Mick Foley. So hopefully I'm with you. We can find some resolution there. All right. Onward ho. Here we go. News you can use. News will leave a bruise. PWInsider.com. They were the first to report that Velveteen Dream was released from his WWE NXT contract. No word on the details surrounding his departure, but this came following controversy and an injury in 2020. Dream had not appeared on NXT TV since losing to Adam Cole on the December 23rd episode. And longtime WWE artist Rob Schomburger, who I don't know if did you ever get to meet Rob, or if you worked with Rob in any way?
No, not at all.
Another person, I only know him from like the Access events, because I did like, I'll do interviews or I'll walk over and just say hi or whatever. Another person, sweetheart, wonderful man. He took to Twitter, reacted to the news of Dream's release, writing, without saying anything further, he was the single most unprofessional person I've encountered in the business. I hope this is the wake-up call he needs to start doing the emotional work to become a better person, all told. That's a mic drop. Wow.
It is a mic drop. And I know, as someone who's worked with him and knowing a lot of other people who've worked with him, the word I would have used is immaturity. Okay. In place of unprofessionalism, but I definitely understand what Rob was trying to say there, and also kind of commend him for being honest about, hey, this was my experience, not totally ripping the guy apart, but letting us know what his opinion is. And there's obviously a lot of conversation around the release of Velveteen Dream, but I think to me it's that all the bad behavior stuff is he was kind of trying to do the MJF thing, like, no, this is who I really am, and I really am this pompous guy, this overconfident person. And as you can see with Rob, it just really never came off that way. So I want to also echo Rob's other sentiment that he hopes that Velveteen Dream does the growing that he needs to do as a person right now.
Yeah, no, and see, that's so like that thing is, I know Rob, but I don't know Dream at all. And so you obviously had some time with him. When you say immaturity, what are you talking about when it comes to him, when you use that word?
He has so much passion for pro wrestling and the business. And he's one of those guys who has wanted to do this his entire life. And I've been guilty of this too, just taking it a little too far, just thinking that you're a little bit too much more important than everyone else, just thinking that your ideas are a little bit better than even the people who've been hired to write the show. There's just a lot of aspects of not having a great perspective of the world and his place in it that affected him, day to day, the way that he behaved. It's not that he didn't work hard, not that he's not talented, not that he doesn't have the look. He checks so many boxes. I think the personal growth part, he wants to be a pro wrestler so bad. If that's what it takes, he probably wouldn't have done it, but he will to be a pro wrestler. So I have high hopes.
Yeah, a redemption story is what everybody always wants, right? I mean, and by the way, in the comment section, you can comment on any of the platforms you're on right now. We have the Mecha chat thread right here, so feel free to chime in, chat with the other people that are in the comment section right now. But Phil saying this has to be talent refusing to work with him. Why else release him for after all this time? And then followed up by saying, is Velveteen the biggest fall from grace in WWE history? That's a really that's a big statement. I mean, there's been some really epic falls from grace in pro wrestling, but it's a big one.
Well, yeah, and I can see what he means with somebody who was clearly having the faith of the company put in him and was getting those pushes and stuff. So, yeah, a huge fall from grace for sure. As far as talent refusing to work with him, I think that unless there's issues of someone being, discriminatory or hurting people, you can't just not work with someone because you don't like them. That kind of stuff doesn't really fly behind the scenes. So if WWE is still messing with someone, you're supposed to still be effing with them. You know what I mean? Sure.
And on that note, I'll get to some more of these comments here in just a second, but this dovetails nicely into the Fightful report about Drake Wurtz's release. So it was alleged that there were a few instances where minorities within NXT took exception to the way Drake Wurtz worded certain things. Very open-ended statement there. That could mean anything, right? One situation reportedly involved Ezra Judge, who was also released this week, almost feeling the need to get physical with Drake. Now, we'll get to more on Judge's release in just a moment. But back to Drake, there were numerous times when talent, specifically people of color, went to NXT higher-ups about situations like this. Drake reportedly gained significant heat after the Takeover in Your House event in June 2020 as a story on his behavior went around following a talent meeting with Triple H. Triple H gave a speech which came in the middle of the Black Lives Matter movement that saw him say all people, regardless of their race, gender, or religion, were welcome in NXT. Word is that when religions were mentioned, Drake's attitude immediately changed, and he reportedly aggressively gathered his belongings, then left. There were also these reports about him getting very loud and animated with people over masks that I also read about as well. But anyway, see, that's the thing, Christy, is because we've talked about Drake on the show before, and he's been so difficult for a lot of us to cover in the last 6 months because we knew all this background, but it's kind of stuff that unless you can get several sources or somebody on the record to verify. I mean, these are very the allegations I'd heard against Drake like this were just, it was mind-boggling, but now that it's kind of all out in the open, that's why I say this. Drake is kind of like Dream, where it's I hope, because Drake came in, everybody really wanted this guy hired, loved this guy, a lot of friends. And then it gets to the end there and he's a different person, and that's why I say, I really hope Drake finds another path or surrounds himself with different people right now, because whatever he's kind of rabbit hole he's fallen down here the past couple months is really not in his best interest or for those around him. So sad story here. I'm not celebrating the firing of Drake Wurtz in any way. I really hope the guy can find another path,
Yeah, and to me, this was really the missing kind of piece of information. I've been confused about all of this as someone who worked with him years ago. At the time, you're saying when everyone was supporting bringing him in, the talent loved him. The execs, everybody behind the scenes really loved him, put faith in him, and had him, in charge of the referees down at NXT and all of that. So all of this has been such a shock to me. And then when you hear that talent was being made uncomfortable over discriminatory things, obviously that's a nail in the coffin kind of a thing. And I really think that there is something more going on than just Drake's political or religious beliefs here. And I really, really hope that he can find some peace.
Yeah, that's the thing, is wrestling is a business of trust, right? And if you can't get in the ring and you can't trust the person you're in the ring with, then that is not somebody who gets to be in the circus anymore, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's the thing. And on top of all the other questionable stuff, right? He has his beliefs, but the attitude, the tenor, the anger is really the kind of thing that is so telling to me that he just needs a better environment. He needs to be surrounded by people that aren't feeding whatever kind of negativity is going on up there right now. I'd like to see a return to form. I know a lot of people that love Drake Wurtz. It's really unfortunate. So, all right. Well, by the way, talking about the falls from grace, Kyle Davis saying Benoit is the biggest fall from grace. And I think that's, what? I think that's probably right. I think you're probably right. That's the top level. So,
yeah, agreed.
All right. Well, let's go back over to Ezra Judge here. Well, you got brought up. The Wrestling Observer saying the release of NXT talent Ezra Judge surprised many people within the company. His departure was a surprise due to his potential. Now, there's no word on the actual story behind Judge's release, but people were said to be stunned by the departure. It was noted that if you could build a pro wrestler from the ground up, it would be Judge. I want to know who gave this line to Dave. So impassioned, really selling this guy. He stood at 6 foot 6.5 inches, billed at 6'8", weighed 285 pounds, had 42-inch vertical jump in the NFL Combine in 2012. His Instagram account shows that he just participated in a performance center photo shoot this week. He also served as an extra in the recent NXT TV Mansion segment with Cameron Grimes and DiBiase. Judge gave thanks in a post-release tweet, said he'll be back, indicating officials may have told him he'd get another look down the road. I don't really know much about Ezra. I know he got involved in this Drake story, Drake pissed him off. And I don't know, I see this, but it takes more than just size, right? There has to be a kind of, you have to be able to feel it, and since I don't really know much about this guy, and I didn't really know too much about, I don't really know if he came from the Indies or what the story was, but if you have the skills there, sometimes you just need a little bit more experience before coming back. That's all. That happens all the time.
Right. He hasn't been there for long is the other thing. And, whoever wrote that line is right, that he does have all the tools, and they've given some people years and years and years to get the skills part down, right? When they have the look and the size. So I almost think that there was something else going on here, and maybe this was his choice, or maybe he also felt that this wasn't the right time for him to be there.
Yeah, and that's the thing with that much raw potential and talent and things like that. Sometimes it's just there's more money elsewhere. Maybe there's other opportunities out there for him. Anyway, also from the PC update here, the Observer saying that the Rock's daughter, Simone Johnson, reportedly making progress at the Performance Center as she trains for her eventual NXT debut. Simone was the most improved developmental talent in squats, for a period of January to May of this year. It was noted that the second most improved in squats for January to May was Skylar Story, Brandon Lauren Pawlik. Story was just released in WWE on Wednesday of last week. Neither really here or there. Just good news here from the Observer that it seems like Simone Johnson progressing well. I mean, we all want Simone Johnson to succeed, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, clearly WWE is excited about her. We're excited about her. You know, Zelina is clearly excited about her. And I still think there's going to be something going on there with the pairing of the two of them. I mean, that's a lot of pressure for a teenage girl, right? But if anyone has grown up, you know, raised to handle it, it's her. And yeah, man, just expect big things. And when we do that, sometimes it's like, oh, but she'll deliver. She will deliver.
So I want to jump into some live events news. So I actually have something that was so fresh I didn't include on the run sheet. So we'll get to that here in just a second. But I'll start by saying Sports Illustrated, PWInsider.com, kind of at the same time confirmed the 2021 SummerSlam pay-per-view is going to be taking place in Las Vegas, Nevada. It'll have fans there. I already talked to Raj. It does sound like I'm going. I asked Liz, I was like, Liz, do you want to come with me? And she's like, but you're going to be working. She's like, you're working. And I was like, it's Vegas. Who cares? Whatever. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm very excited about Las Vegas. Are you interested in going down to Vegas and seeing SummerSlam and having fun?
I am always interested in going to Vegas to see wrestling. In fact, the only times I've really been to Vegas was to film pro wrestling. However, I don't think I'll be going to hang out at SummerSlam just because, you know.
All right, fine.
That would involve me asking people for press access that I don't really want to ask for stuff.
By the way, we got a super chat here from Eric Schoon, just saying you two are awesome. Well, hey, Eric, you're awesome, buddy. Thank you. You're 2 times the awesome. Thank you, Eric. I'll also say that Pratik, also who regular on the show, regular watcher. Thank you, Pratik. I'm so excited WWE coming to Texas this July, which brings me into the news that I didn't have on the run sheet. Yeah, WWE officially returning to the road with fans. It was announced this morning that a 25-city tour will begin on Friday, July 16th, with a live SmackDown at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. The Money in the Bank pay-per-view will then take place that Sunday, July 18th, at the Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. And a live Raw will be held on July 19th at the American Airlines Center in Dallas. Tickets for all 3 shows are going to go on sale this Wednesday. WWE is going to be announcing the rest of the tour stops and on-sale dates in the coming weeks. It was noted that the 25-city schedule will run through Labor Day, which is Monday, September 6th. These dates will be WWE's first regular ticketed events since March 2020 due to the pandemic. So we're back in business. We're back in business, Christy.
This makes me so happy. I'm so excited for the fans who are going to go and get to be there. And, you know, as someone who was on the road in Texas with WWE a few times, those Texas fans are just awesome. And gosh, that just makes me so happy just because it's a huge sign that we're returning back to, you know, our fulfilled lives. And also just because, you know, fans are going to get to see pro wrestling again. And that's, you know, that's the whole point.
Yeah, I'm stoked. And like it is feeling nice. It's like I'm coming out of hibernation. You know, I get to go to Jacksonville here for Double or Nothing. Then we got Vegas on the horizon here for SummerSlam. I'm really hoping they come to Chicago here on this 25 stop tour, so I could go check out some action here, and you know, maybe Liz will come with me to that because it's not so far away. But you know, whatever. I'm just excited that we're getting back to touring again. It's gonna be fun. We're all gonna go back and enjoy wrestling again.
Yeah, and I think these shows will probably sell out quick, and then we're going to hear about the next 25 dates and the next 25, and pretty soon it'll be 300 days of the year on the road again.
Oh wow. Okay, so Tom, in the comment section, I'm not going to throw it up on the screen. Apparently, the super chat was another person who had snuck a name by me which was a dirty.
Did they get us again, Nick?
That's fine. $3 a pop. I mean, it's kind of on you. You know, I pay more for candy. You know, so I pay less for candy, and I do buy my candies. Xavier Wood, he commented on the ownership of Up, Up, Down, Down on Twitter. He said, for those who have asked, Up, Up, Down, Down is owned by WWE, always has been, hence why we are allowed to stream on that platform. Unfortunately, at this time, we are not allowed to be on Twitch, but hopefully we are given permission at some point. Hope that clears it up. I don't know. It just sounds like, waiting for mom and dad to let me on the old Twitch channel. I don't know. I don't get it.
Man. No, you know what? I don't get it either. If I was him, I would have left there a long time ago, built my own stuff, be making my own money, be doing my own thing, be following by my own rules, by my own name. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, there's that where he could be doing. I'm sure that they pay him very, very well. I think Xavier Woods is making a lot of money. That's probably why he's fine with it. But like, just from a business standpoint, like, who in your company understands this market, this platform better than Xavier Woods? Probably nobody, unless you got some nerd in the office, right? Nerds, but
some nerd who learned from him.
Yeah, some nerd. I've been studying Xavier Woods' work, and I can tell you, no, Xavier Woods. I would just let the guy do it. Like, build the platform. You can take a 20% rip, 30% rip, whatever, and then just become our Twitch. Like, you want to use Twitch, build it out. We'll just take a cut. Why the hesitation? I just don't understand.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things like that. Can we assume that they're still working on some kind of like blanket Twitch deal or something, and that up, down, down is their main kind of thing that they have to leverage, right?
Yeah, I guess so, because you're right, because like Zelina's back, and she's probably going to want her Twitch channel, and then you got Woods, and so you got this, I got a blanket. I mean, I just don't know how complicated that should be, right? Like, you're going to launch Twitch channels. We're going to take 80% of that money. Go have fun. Like, I don't understand why that's so complicated, So,
and then you can have your channel back if it's under your name when you are no longer under contract. That's a legal piece as well.
Hey, whoa, wait, hold your horses there. I don't know that that's going to happen. I don't know that Vince is giving up. I think anything you make while under contract or create or become part of, I think he's going to keep all of that. I think you're going to start from scratch. I don't know. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. We have Samantha QT. She says it makes no sense if WWE owns it. Why wouldn't they be getting the money from Twitch? It's got to be a bigger deal.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm sure they're trying to negotiate some kind of huge mega deal.
Well, and she says that Adam Cole's still on Twitch too. Like how?
Well, I've been wondering about that. And aren't there still some who are on Cameo? And I mean, are there some people that are just saying screw it?
I don't know if the NXT deals are different.
That could be.
Maybe maybe it's like we're paying you less, sometimes far less than main roster people, so we're going to be more amenable to letting you go out and create revenue from other places to just keep you happy.
Right, and if anybody's going to get that kind of a sweet deal at NXT, it would be Adam Cole.
Yeah, so food for thought. I don't know, just based on speculation. We have an update here. PW Insider and Fightful, again, like two entities kind of at the same time. And this plays off of a report that I put out in January saying Don Callis is not going to be an EVP for Impact that much longer. He's going to be a character in AEW. Well, 5 months later, it turns out I'm right. Don Callis, no longer a co-EVP of Impact. According to multiple sources, Callis is no longer an executive in any capacity for Anthem Sports and Entertainment or any of their brands, including Impact. He will remain with the company as a performer. Callis and Impact officials remain on good terms, and this exit was not a dramatic one. He worked the most recent set of tapings and will continue to appear as a manager for the Good Brothers and Omega, who is the current AEW World Champion, Impact World Champion, and AAA Mega Champion. Word now is that he is expected to end up with AEW in a full-time role. However, there is no timetable for if and when that may happen. It does feel like with Kenny having the Impact, AEW, AAA, I know he's got a big match, I think, with Andrade for the AAA title or something coming up here. And then, of course, the AEW triple threat. We could be getting ready, I think, for a fall from grace where Kenny kind of loses all these titles maybe. And then I don't know what that does with the Impact relationship in AEW. I mean, Don has put himself in a great position here, right? The guy who helped Impact.
Don's buddy has put him in a great position here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Don got put in a good spot here. I just don't. If Kenny drops this Impact Championship in the not too distant future, which I think is a decent possibility, I think he might lose them all at once. What happens with I don't know, like what did Impact get out of this when Kenny and Don leave? Don and Kenny seem to have gotten quite a bit, and then I don't know what they're going to leave behind for everybody else.
Well, I think you just touched on the problem with all this from the beginning was that no one was really sure what Impact or AEW were going to get out of it. Didn't it seem from the beginning kind of just like, yeah, let's work together and show them that we can do that and take it from there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, by the way, somebody had a comment here. Do they work this into a storyline with Kenny? I don't know that they bring up Don like leaving Impact fully for AEW. I don't know if that becomes part of a storyline or not. I doubt it.
No, because haven't the fans so far been very unreceptive of the Don Callis type storyline stuff? Like, kind of haven't we proven that we don't really care that much about what's going on with him specifically?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just this whole period is going to be looked back very interestingly because I do think once Kenny loses this title, I think him and Don spin off to AEW. I think somehow the Good Brothers will stay with AEW. I don't know how.
Stay with Impact, you mean?
I may stay with AEW, and then I don't know if they stay with Impact as well or leave Impact or whatever. But if Don and Kenny leave, I don't see the Good Brothers staying with Impact, not doing AEW. So I don't know how any of this played out, but a lot of people did some very clever work here that's going to probably play out for AEW better than Impact in the long run here. That's why I'm really interested to go back and look at this period of time when it's all kind of said and done.
Right. But it should be that way. I mean, AEW was the bigger fish here, even though they were the much younger fish.
Yeah. All right. And also from AEW, we have the viewership from Wednesday night. Wednesday's live edition of Dynamite drew 821,000 viewers on TNT. This AEW viewership down 12.3% from last week's show, which drew 936,000 viewers. This week's Dynamite drew a 0.28 rating in the 18 to 49 key demo, down 9.7 from last week's 0.31. This week's Dynamite viewership was still up 17.1 from the same week in 2020, while the 18 to 49 demo is still up 7.5. But this is like the lowest I think they've been since they went to Wednesday nights unopposed by NXT, kind of back where, a little above where they were. But it is interesting to me that both the AEW and NXT kind of rolling back to what their viewership was. We're not seeing the kind of bigger pops I think either company was expecting with this move.
Well, we did at AEW until this week. They have been faring better with not being in competition with NXT than NXT has. And you know what? This is going to happen. We're really only talking about a few 100,000 viewers. And when what you're going for is 1 million, it's not a huge difference. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think AEW is concerned, and I don't think they should be.
No, they've got a huge sack of money from Warner Media. I don't think that they're concerned. No, for sure. And I don't know. This would be I don't think this is going to be a trend, or I don't think they're going to go that much lower than this. But if they do,
no, I don't think they will either.
But I don't think they will either. And bring it up back somebody here. Do you guys feel Dynamite will gain viewers next year on TBS? I don't know. I mean, it's all kind of a crapshoot. I know TBS has a little bit more exposure, but I like the stuff on TBS more than I like on TNT. I like American Dad. I like some of the dumb stuff.
Well, and wrestling fans who are watching it on TNT are going to find it on TBS. You know what I mean? I won't be surprised if they don't see any kind of really a change from that specific change.
And lastly here, before we get to Jimmy in podcast form, and you guys, of course, can go check that out here in half an hour when we debut it over on the YouTube channel or premiere it. Will Osprey has vacated the IWGP World Heavyweight title due to a neck injury. New Japan announced that Osprey suffered a neck injury back on May 4th. He's going to return to the UK for treatment and rehab of the injury. No timetable for his return, so the title has been vacated. New Japan noted that further announcements on the status of the world title will be made at a later date. So unfortunate here. And yeah, New Japan, I feel bad for them, man. They've just had a rough go of it here. There's another wave. A lot of people just got COVID over there on their roster. Now they have Osprey going down. It's been really hard for them to keep momentum here through this pandemic.
Yeah, but they have, and they will. The fans always be there for them, and they'll be fine. It opens up, an opportunity. Oh my God, can I speak? This opens up an opportunity for someone else to take that championship, for them to do something major, to promote at a big show. I don't know. It could be a tournament. It could be, some kind of gimmick that they can use that's going to also do them just as well as having him as the champion. So, they can turn lemons into lemonade.
All right, everybody, that'll bring us to the end of the show. Thank you to Jimmy Corderas for joining me this week for the audio portion. And again, we're going to premiere the conversation I had with Jimmy 1 p.m. Eastern, so about a half hour from now if you're watching us in real time over on all the platforms. All right, let's dive the mailbag at WInc Daily, WINC Daily over on Twitter. That is the account to follow if you want to vote in the daily polls, let your voice be heard, find out when new comments or new content is coming out from the show. Today's poll question: who is WWE's best secondary champion at the moment? I preface this is a singles title holder who is not the top champion for their brand? Is it IC champion Apollo Crews, U.S. champion Sheamus, North American champion Bronson Reed, or someone else? Over 250 votes here. 56.2% said Sheamus, 24.3% Apollo Crews, 15.1% for Bronson Reed, and then 4.4% for someone else. For your money, who's the best secondary champion right now in WWE?
I went with Sheamus, but just looking at these options and you kind of really provoked some thoughts here. I kind of went, or no one.
Really? You're not a fan of any of the secondary champions?
Well, no, you made me realize by asking that question that none of the other champions are standing out to me.
Okay, I gotcha. You're telling me that 24/7 champion Tozawa doesn't have you like gripped at the moment?
No, not really looking for him to keep it or lose it.
Okay. Well, I voted Sheamus. He's been a great big bully. He's just a good bully. Like, who doesn't want to see a bully get its ass kicked?
Right. He always has that going for him.
What a jerk. I hate this guy. Well, at Flew Too Cold, Sheamus Easy, so underrated in the ring, and how he reinvents himself every few years. Great, deserves more praise. Guy deserves more praise. Plus, he just comes off like a badass. He does reinvent himself every few years, but the personality never changes. It's always just like he's got a cape, or now he's got a hat.
He's very intimidating. I was just watching this thing on this kind of new agey channel about there's evidence that there was some kind of ancient people that were giants, and they were like red-haired and red-bearded people. And I'm kind of wondering now if Sheamus was an ancestor of those people.
I agree. And I know exactly what you're talking about. I think about that.
Right? In like Greece or something?
I know. Yeah, I know. I know about it. I was watching the Secret of Skinwalker Ranch this morning. I don't know if you've caught that on the History Channel.
No, but it sounds intriguing.
There's a ranch where there might be a wormhole with a portal to another dimension. I think it's in like Montana or something. And so there's a bunch of alien activity on this ranch. And they sent a NASA scientist out there, and they're in their second season. And he's like convinced there's a black hole or like a wormhole on this property. They were like shooting lasers into the sky last night. It was so dope. Anyway.
Oh, I am so in. I am so in. I will be on that. That sounds like something that should be on the Gaia Network.
All right. Anyway, sorry, I got off a little tangent there. Back to the show. We will, by the way, be reading some of your comments. If you're in any of the forums that are showing this right now, comment it up. We will read comments here at the end of the show after I finish the Twitter combats. Okay, at 6rings9880, the Ninja guy is killing it with the highly coveted, well-respected 24/7 championship. Look, if R-Truth doesn't want the title anymore, like if he's out and he's going to do something different now, retire this dog. It's done, right? This thing is done and played out. Go on a shelf.
Yeah, dude. R-Truth did for the 24/7 title what? Oh, I should have thought about this first. What John Cena did for the U.S. title?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was like, he's a pretty iconic U.S. champion. I'll give you that. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, who else could have made that work? And when we think of that championship forever, we will think of R-Truth. Like that really ended up being his kind of thing. He's had so many great things over the years, but that will be his thing, and that's cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. And hopefully there's more. Like, I want one more thing for R-Truth. And I've maybe gone off on too many tangents recently, but I want Ron Killings to come back. I want MVP to get in this. I want MVP to get in this man's ear and be like, "Are you proud of what you've been doing, Ron? Are you proud of this? You're running around, get beat up by ninjas. Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you come with us? Why don't you be a real man? We'll take you back into the title picture here right now." I want to see R-Truth. I want to see Ron Killings healed up and ready to just run one more time as like a legitimate contender,
Okay, I feel like he'd be down for that too. You got me on board, Nick.
Hey, I think somebody topped your comparison. At KSJ Sports, he's like what Mankind did for the hardcore title. That's true. You think hardcore, You think Mankind, Mick Foley. Okay, that's true. We also had a write-in here, Mr. Monkey Crazy, Apollo Crews, at Raj Mooker, another one for Sheamus, and then J-Zone11 wrote an R-Truth, who's not the current 24/7 champion, but I think kind of makes our point. All right, let me read a couple just right in here. We'll read some stuff. Here's some stuff about AEW. At Victor Cervantes, NBA play in games affected AEW ratings. Next week might be worse due to the NBA and NHL playoffs. And yeah, we are getting into sports seasons again. Monday Night Raw is going to have some competition here in the not too distant future as well. So
that's a good point. That's something that a show that's on TBS or TNT is always going to have to deal with. WCW had to deal with it back in the 90s. And it's something at least that they can anticipate. And again, this is what I mean by I'm sure AEW isn't concerned,
Mm-hmm. We also, and Acer kind of reiterating here, Acer 5000, some tough, serious competition from AEW Dynamite this week alone. Those NBA and NHL games, playoffs affected that. So there you go. Rodney M, right in for Kushida, the cruiserweight champion right now, who I think he's fresh into his title run, but you're right, underappreciated in the mailbag here today. So
it's a good one.
Kushida, very good wrestler. Rocky Baya just says hi, Nick and Christy. Hi, Rocky. Hey, by the way,
Rocky.
I'm gonna flip the logo out this weekend. He made us a new logo for the show that's supposed to be up on iTunes, but I've just been too busy. But it's going up this weekend, Rocky. Thank you, brother.
Ooh. Oh, I can't wait to see.
It looks like the Wrestling Inc. podcast logo, but it just says daily. So it's not really like we're reinventing the wheel here. We're just trying to make everything look the same. So anyway.
Way to hype it up, Nick.
Big announcement. All right. Let's start up. Permanent press. Why should Vince be worried? Raw, 1.8 million. Dynamite, 830,000. That's a million more fans watching Raw. And it's not even good right now.
Touche.
Wow.
That.
Here's the thing about Monday Night Raw. For how long has it been? Like 26 years? Something that Raw has been on our televisions?
Yeah.
Every Monday, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, it's going to be there. Unless there's a dog show, okay?
Cockroaches, Cher, and Monday Night Raw.
Right?
At the end of the world.
Dynamite is only like 18 months into brainwashing its fan base. Vince has been doing this for decades. We're all creatures of habit. So you make it 26 years and maybe, there'll be that ingrained, it's Wednesday. I have to watch Dynamite.
All right. I look forward to that. What, 2046 would be 25 years? We'll be sitting here doing this, Nick.
The last comment I'll read is from Praddick. Imagine Drew McIntyre is 24/7 champion. I can, and it's terrible. Thanks for that, brother.
But you know what? He would take that opportunity and make the most out of it and try to put that championship over harder than anybody ever before.
I guess. All right, everybody. Hey, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to this show here today. It was a great Fun Friday episode. We had more live viewers for this episode than any show we've done since we went live. So we broke new records here today.
Yay, oh my God. Thank you guys all so much for coming and joining us. Having you all here adding to the conversation just makes it so much more fun. I love it.
It really does. We're really enjoying going live, and you can still get us in podcast form. So thank you all. Share it out. Share the link out to the show. Let people know this is where to come. Noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. We are 22 minutes away from premiering the Jimmy Corderas interview on the YouTube channel as well. So go over and check that out here in a little bit. I'll be in the chat room. Monday, come on back. We'll be doing the show. Michael Weissman will be back. Drew Rice, new Wrestling Inc. contributor. I told this story earlier this week. He just came out of college. He did this senior project where they asked him to write about anything. He decided to write about WWE, and he reached out to a bunch of random people, and some got back to him. And he has these interviews that have really never seen the light of day, and so we're going to release them and make them part of the show. We had Tyson Kidd on Wednesday. That was pretty cool. That was a good get by Drew. And he's like, I have an interview with Jackson Riker. And I was like, all right, sure. Let's get this out there. So we're going to do Jackson Riker on Monday, who I obviously disagree with on multiple points, but we'll give Jackson.
Yeah.
We'll have Jackson here with Drew on Monday. And you know what? If you'd like to listen, that is your call. We'll premiere that on Monday as well. Also,
you know what? I would like the opportunity to hear what he has to say because obviously no one has spoken to him. So I will be interested in that, Nick.
Yeah, he did.
As surprised as I am that you're putting it on the platform, I will be listening.
I think he did like a interview with like a Christian outlet or something like that, like not too long ago. But no, yeah, really haven't had any content out there. I was like, you know what? I feel like we talk about this guy, right? And he's a really one-dimensional person to me. So this will be a chance to hear from Jackson Riker on Monday. You can figure out what you think from there. So Jackson Riker will be here on Monday with Drew. If you like the Wrestling Inc. Daily, support WrestlingInc.com. We're on all the major social media platforms. We'll also have the Wrestling Inc. podcast every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Fridays, weekends after pay-per-views. It goes live just like this. So tune in for that as well. It also has its own podcast feed. And that's everything. That's the end of the week, Christy. I have no more news. I have no more announcements. I have no more punditry. What would you like to plug put over here to wrap over the week today?
Wow, we have finally exhausted Nick Hausman. I love that. Well, guys, you can always hit me up at Christy Reports on Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms. I love to hear from you. Please check out my channel as well, Christy Reports, over on YouTube, and let me know what you want to see. It's always so much fun hanging out with you guys.
Yes. Look, somebody, Christy is a treat. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you on Monday. I am at Nick_Hausman over on Twitter. And remember, if you winked, you didn't miss it.